Hi everyone, can you hear me okay? All right, so like Tom said, I'm Audra Cox with Hyster-Yale Group. Before I really get started, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about who Hyster-Yale Group is. If you all take a look around the room, the tables that you're sitting at, the chairs you're sitting on, your glasses on your face, water bottles, it's all been moved by a forklift truck at one time or another. So that's what we do. We manufacture forklifts, parts for our forklifts, service, all that stuff. We have two strong brands, our Hyster and Yale. We have a few other brands that are sold regionally, but I'm going to focus on Hyster and Yale throughout this. Both have been around for around 100 years, but they did not come under one organization until 1989. And with that, you can imagine there's a lot of old systems, old legacy applications and things that we had to bring in to make an e-commerce work. So how many of you recently sent your kids out to school? Yeah. So this is always a reset time for my family and I. It's just a time to start over and, reflect. And my husband and I this year were talking about how much we missed when our kids were small, and they were sweet and mostly didn't argue with each other. And this year they drove themselves to school for the first time. I have two in high school now, and it was just a very different experience. So we just were really reflecting on that time when they were little and how much we'd like to go back to that time. But the more we talked about it, we realized, if we were back then, we would be missing out on all the things they're doing now. They are driving, they're getting ready for college, they're expanding their social relationships and everything. So we didn't really want to go back to that time. What we realized was we wanted that feel of that time. So how does all that relate to Amazon and the B2B experience? When senior leadership reached out to us and wanted us to start an e-commerce and they wanted an Amazon-like experience, the more we talked to them, what we realized was they didn't really want Amazon because we're B2B, not B2C, but they do want those feels that you get with Amazon. So they wanted our parts and products to be easy to navigate and find. They wanted them to be available, and they wanted the experience to be personalized. So how did Hyster-Yale do it? We first did a customer segmentation study. So we did a deep dive with all of our dealers and customers to really understand what they needed in their e-commerce solution. This was really important. We thought, Hyster-Yale Group thought that the most important thing was going to be pricing, but what we found out with the study was it was really the availability of parts. So just very important to do that up front. I mentioned a few minutes ago how old our companies are and all those legacy systems. So we also knew we needed to have a PIM in place. So we engaged with Antara, who helped us get our PIM in place so that we could feed all our products from our legacy systems through Informatica to an enterprise PIM and e-commerce solution. And then in 2021, we launched our MVP of e-commerce, our new e-commerce. So we're here at Znode Grow today. We chose Znode as our e-commerce platform. We really did this for a number of reasons. Mainly they were headless. They could be configurable to all of our crazy complex needs, and they would be flexible with the things that we needed to develop and get into our site, just because of all of our legacy contracts and things that we have with our dealers that we have to support. So this is a super high level slide on customer segmentation. This is two very simple diagrams, but we have two main users with customers and dealers. Our dealers are supporting our customers, but our customers are really distributors as well. So it's all in the B2B space. Good example of the subset of dealer users would be, we might have a dealer technician versus a parts manager who's at the counter selling parts, and then a service manager who's needing to get the parts to fix their trucks. So how we determine their needs is we really wanted to understand our customers' fleets. Some of them sell only Hyster or Yale products, but some sell other brands, which I will not mention here. And so we needed to understand that. We needed to understand the size of their business too, their operations and how they worked. We needed to know how they did their maintenance, and we wanted to understand their parts needs and how we could help fulfill all of those when we were building out e-com. Okay, so this slide is really just to help you understand how our organization is structured with our dealers and customers and how that might work. So we're here at the middle as the OE. We work with our dealers who have multiple branch locations. They have service technicians, parts managers who are out managing the service, and then they're the ones who are actually working with our customers. So all of this is our parts ecosystem. This is a scenario, just one simple scenario of how we might interact with a customer. This is our do-it-yourself customer. So this is the customer who's going to do their service in-house. They're not going to outsource that to the dealer. So when they find a need, they're going to go to our e-com system. They're going to research and place an order, which will come through us. We then dispatch that out to the dealer who is going to do the actual fulfillment, and then that's going to get back out to the customer. One of the biggest customizations, configurations that we had to do was a mapping behind the scenes. We have agreements with our dealership. They're, a dealer in California cannot serve a customer in Texas, for example. They have to work within their local region. So that mapping is all built into the back end of our system. This is another example. So this would be a service request. So this is a customer, maybe they've got a truck in the field that has hit a number of hours where it's going to need service on it. That's going to notify the dealership. They're going to have a service tech go out, check it out, see if they need any parts, and then ultimately place an order for the parts that they're going to need. And then that part will get sent back out to the customer. What happens now is the dealership is down parts. So the replenishment of the parts need to happen at the dealership level. So network replenishment, this is our ultimate goal, is that we would be tied into all of our dealer networks. We would have all their availability of their products integrated into our e-com environment, so that when that part is sold to the customer, we know that and we're backfilling the parts to our dealerships. So this is an example of easy, as just a screenshot from our e-commerce site. This is the assembly page where we're showing our technical diagrams. The users can go in and zoom in on these pictures. There's hotspots to get over to the parts. There's just a lot of flexibility and stuff on this page that we wanted the users to have, so they don't necessarily have to go too deep into the system to find the parts that they're looking for. For our dealership, dealer users, they're going to see our parts distribution stock levels, so they will know what's going to be available at any time to be able to service their customers. And then personalization, this is two examples of personalization, again, high level, but the customer example here, they only have a single brand with Yale. So they only have a subset of parts. They don't have access to our Hyster parts. So we had to make those types of relationships available in our e-commerce. And then the user can search, build carts, check out. For the dealer, most of our dealers are dual brand dealers. We do have some single brand dealers still, but in this example, they have both Hyster and Yale products. So they're going to have access to all of our products. And then they might use our multi-cart checkout feature when ordering their parts. Okay, I'm gonna do a demo. Give me a second here. Okay, so this is a demo site. This is what a customer would see. We have a slightly different view when it's a dealer because a lot of that relationship stuff doesn't need to be done in the back end. So we have multiple ways the user can search for parts. They can obviously just put in a keyword, part name or part number if they know that. They can also search by category, and there's a drill down for that. Or they can search by serial number, series, and model. This is the way that we really want them to search, because if they put their serial number in, it's going to go straight to their truck and the items that are on their truck. So they're going to be guaranteed that they get the right parts. But they do have the other options for searching for parts. So I'm just going to pick a serial number here. Much like cars and things, forklifts, the users want things to be customized. So I think it's a very high percentage, 80 or 90% of all of our trucks have special engineered options on them. So that's what this special options is. That's going to take the user to those items that are specific to their truck. And then they can also go to just the view standard options. So you can see here we've got like the model of the truck, we've got the serial number. Down below, this is where we start to build out to those technical diagrams. Everything that's bolded or has the red line on the side of it, those are categories which are going to have parts on this truck that we've selected. So drilling down in here, I just chose the overhead guard. You can see here's our parts diagrams. You can zoom in and out and drag. There's hotspots that'll take you down to that part within the page. And then from this page, we added a lot of features so the user didn't have to go all the way through to the parts detail page. So they can add this to a list here. So a list might be like a stock order that they know they order every so often, or maybe it's a particular truck or PM, which would be like a maintenance plan. They can create those lists. They can also create carts here. And then any other information, you can see cross-reference part information here. So that's because this example, this is a dual brand customer. So if they needed the Yale part number for this part, they can get that from this page. Okay, I was going to show you just searching using the main search bar. You can put anything in here and it's going to give you results back. The gear icons that you're seeing, this is just enrichment that we haven't done yet. So when we launched, we focused on the top 1,000 parts, and we have a project ongoing to add more photography and build that out more. Also, there's zero pricing here because this is a demo site, but you would see pricing. We also have some needs as far as pricing because our dealerships own the relationship with the customer, so we can't tell them what they charge the customer. So if they tell us they want consumer list plus 10%, we have that in our back-end system, and that feeds through to the front end of the e-commerce, so the customers are seeing the parts that are the price that's their price. And then you can click into these, and that takes you down to the part detail page. We're actively working on enrichment, so the part detail pages, we're hoping to build out more descriptions and specifications and things here. And then if you were to go down the category route, we go to auxiliary, scissor lifts. This is going to take you more like a search you might do in Amazon. You get that same kind of results page with the refiners on the side and stuff that you can filter for what you need. There's some additional features if I was a dealer in here. Maybe there's bulk pricing on one of these. You would see stuff like that on this page. So there's just different configurations for many different user groups. I also wanted to show you all the carts. The main thing I want to show here is the multi-cart checkout feature. So in our legacy system, the user would have to log into our portal, then they would have to choose Hyster, then say they want to go look up the parts diagrams. They could build a cart there, then they would take it into our legacy e-com system, and then they could check out. Then they would have to log out of that, log back into the portal, access the other brand, and go through the whole thing again. So we've got that all integrated together in our platform now. So you can see in the location column if it's Yale or if it's Hyster. We don't care when we get to the checkout. We'll let them check out whatever carts they'd like to. And the multi-cart checkout allows them to do that kind of in a wizard type system, much like a TurboTax or something would do. So you can come here, you can make modifications to quantities, you can add notes if you need to. You can also add any part numbers that maybe you forgot. And as a customer, we're allowing them to add miscellaneous parts because our dealers, they have more parts available or access to other parts that maybe we don't have, or they can source it from somewhere else. And since it's not going through our order processing system, it's going straight to the dealer, we allow them to do that. So once you're ready, you would hit checkout. I'm not going to do that because it will actually go. So I'm just going to hit skip cart. But you can see now that it's taking me to cart number 2 of 3. So it's just an easy way to get through all those carts and that ordering in one. So to switch, once you're in the site, if you have other locations assigned to you, they would show up here. I've only got one other ones, but you would see a list of them if there were multiples. But this allows you to switch back and forth between your locations that you're ordering for. So I wanted to go under the account profile page real quick. You can access your orders and lists and carts here, but the main thing I wanted to show you is under locations. So this drop down here, or this will show you different locations you can switch to, just like we just did. But you can also see the location details that you're ordering for. You can see the shipping addresses and any users that are associated, and then the dealer's information if you need to contact them. But we have integrated the impersonation feature here. So depending on the access role that you have in our system, it will allow you to impersonate a user. If you have that impersonation, then you can just click on one of these and then you're taken into their site. It's really been great for troubleshooting, to see what they're seeing. Dealers can do live trainings with their customers. It's been helpful in a lot of different ways. So on our roadmap, sites, we just launched our EMEA theater earlier this year. Brazil will be next, and then we're going to do Asia Pacific. But site optimization has been the biggest pain point we feel like right now, and it's really due to our old systems. So our APIs we've written with Informatica, so it's easy on the backside to push out to PIM and Ecom, but we just need to optimize those APIs so that they're a little faster. And data's getting loaded in the system faster. We also want to onboard all of our user groups. So we have a select few user groups that had additional features that they needed that we just kind of put on hold for moving over. So we want to focus on those. The Product Enrichment Manager, he's going to be focusing on product enrichment this year along with translations for the Americas. And the supplier integration, that's a big focus for us this year. So a lot of the parts that our dealers and customers need are from different integrated into Ecom, Znode, so that they can order all their parts from one place. Okay, these are just some best practices that we've learned along the way that I thought I'd share. We talked about the customer segmentation study that we did in the beginning, and it's just a really important part of the process. You know, you think you know what they want, but if you build it that way and don't ask, then you might be building something that they're not even going to be able to use. Optimize your software. So we did not do a rip and replace. We couldn't with all our legacy systems, but we did bring in Informatica, which then talked to our PIM and Znode in a much more seamless way. Optimize product processes. What I mean here is really just that enrichment piece and having that go alongside your ecom build out. Having, you know, when you launch, you want to have an enriched site. So just doing that along with it was really a good way to focus. And then maintaining your organizational buy-in. So the senior leaders who say they want the Amazon-like experience, you probably have other people within the organization who are interested in ecom in some way. IT definitely will be. So just staying, you know, in front of those groups and keeping the communication going. And then change management. So what I mean by this is really just staying in contact with your dealers. Well, for us, it's dealers and customers. But staying in contact with them to know, you know, are their buying processes changing? You know, has something happened and we need to support a different scenario for them? All right, so this is how we have taken Amazon and broken it down with the easy, available, and personalized. So I hope that with your B2B experiences, maybe you can use some of this.